Good morning, podcast fans, friends, family, everyone that has a listen, new peoples, old peoples. We are glad to have you back with us. Been a bit busy this past few weeks. I've been moving and, unpacking shit and packing shit up and throwing shit away and putting things up on the walls and so on and so on. You know how it goes if you move. It's not too bad. We're in a nice place, more space for us and more comfortable. We enjoying it. It's only been a few weeks, but we really enjoying it. And we got a few things coming up in the future that we're looking forward to. We have the sixth, I keep messing that TH sound up, but the 6th International Martial Arts Games in Thailand, in Phuket. So it's on the island, and it is going to be amazing. We are putting together or getting together the funds to allow myself to go over and to basically, I would be going firstly to Bangkok to go and do some training with Grandmaster Woody, basically to increase my knowledge and increase my level of Muay Thai. So I'm on a Khan 11 and I'm looking to go to the next level of Khan 12, and going to be traveling and training with a partner of mine, Nick Radley. He's the president of our South African Amateur Muay Thai Association, and he's also going to be there. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be quite fun for, I think it'll be good for South African Muay Thai to have the president and the vice president doing the training, and coaches from two different gyms, so that will bring back and spread the knowledge of Muay Thai in South Africa. The knowledge of Muay Thai is high in South Africa. There's high level fighters and so on, but there's not always the chance for them to go and train or go and compete, especially internationally, because for some crazy reason it's so expensive to fly anywhere out of South Africa. I mean, okay, I'll probably understand why I get into the details of it, but it is very expensive. So what we do is we got to raise these funds ourselves. The government, it's not necessarily that they don't know we're going, it's just that there's never funds available for our sports. There's funds available for other things, but I suppose that's more a political thing where they choose who gets and what gets. So we try to get from them, but it never works out. And sometimes they want us to fill in like 100 pages of paperwork where just to show what we're doing. I think it's just to get all the details and see what they can make off it or whatever. Excuse me there, I had to clear my throat, and I refuse to do it in your ear. My throat is just a bit something. My voice was gone away for a few days. So while I was trying to teach, it was a bit difficult because I would try to be like, hey guys, let's go. And then to come out like, so yeah, sorry about that. We're trying to get a team there. We have a team of good fighters. It's basically the champs of our organization and a few other guys that are on the level. As I said, internationally, our fight record's not so high because, again, as I said, prices and stuff. But our guys all have a chance. Anyone has a chance in a fight. It only takes one shot to knock someone out, and it only takes one shot to end the fight. Obviously, you got to set up that one shot, but we all have a chance if we push hard. And the first thing is obviously to get the funds together, because once you have the funds together, you're going for sure. A lot of people, you can train as hard as you want, and sometimes you just can't get the funds, and then it's like you can't just be there. So we're doing that. We are trying to raise the funds for our guys. I've got a fundraiser going as well, so that myself and any teammate that is struggling. I don't have a particular teammate that I would support. It's just going to be, I'm going to find out who needs what. Maybe We need the kit for some people, or paying the registration fees. I'm not going to be able to do a full sponsorship, but partial is going to work, because there's going to definitely be guys that are a bit short, and if I can help one or two of them out, then I'll be happy. So we're busy running a backer buddy. It's like a GoFundMe, but that's not available in South Africa. So it's a backer buddy, which is such a South African name to use. So I think it's pretty cool. But we are looking to raise the funds, and then obviously I would cover myself first, and then the rest would go to a teammate that needs some amount or something like that. I will find out all this information as we get closer, because once New Year comes, then it's really close to the time. And by that time, we would know who's struggling and who needs a bit of assistance, and so on and so on. So I'll be more than happy to assist, because as a previous fighter going over, that's exactly how I got there first. First I went two times. So the first time I was sponsored by people, and the second time was the exact same thing. So you basically go on the support of others, which is, really, it's not that difficult if a whole bunch of people come together. Obviously, if it falls on one person to do it, it gets a bit iffy. And the thing is, I'm going over to go and increase my knowledge and get better at judging and refereeing, and then also to be a part of the association, and show that South Africa, we're here on the map, and we're looking to grow and looking to get better fights, and so on and so on. So yeah, I think it's going to be going good. The thing is, I'm not stressed too much. Like, obviously everyone doesn't have all the options, or as maybe some other people have. I have one option that I can do, which is I'm going to sell my vehicle that I have, and in that way I will have more than enough to cover my flights and all that. But I would not be able to support anyone else, because obviously I'm selling my car, so I have to get another vehicle, and I have to get my flights and stuff together. So that's why I'm hoping that the backer buddy that we are running would be sufficient. Otherwise, I'm not too bothered. I've already sold the car before to buy the gym that I currently run, Top Primate, out here in Woodstock. So I know I have some options, but not everyone has options. So I'm hoping that the sponsorship comes through, then I can support another fighter, or support two fighters, depending on if they just need a few things. Otherwise, if I'm selling my own car, I have other things I need to cover before I can support anyone. I have to support myself. So we are going to see how that goes. We also announcing that we're going to have a guest soon. Guys, I'm excited. I've got myself another headset so that we can chat properly, and I'll have the guest on. All the information will be when the guest is on. I'll rather not drop any information now, because it is my first guest, and not that I don't want to jinx anything, but I just want it to be a spontaneous, natural thing where I don't plan it too much, because if it falls through, it's not such a big deal, but I'd rather have it fall through and not have made a big thing about it yet. And when it happens, then we're going to make a big thing about it, because it is going to happen. We're going to have guests. It's just, it's going to take its time. And I think we're going to run it in our gym. So we'll sit at the gym there. So we have our setup for everything. And then we're just going to chat, and we're going to take it from there. It's a conversation with a person is difficult, or face-to-face conversations are difficult, because everyone's got their phone, they're busy, so they're like, just message me. Don't really get to know a lot about the person. And then again, for any guests that are interested, you are welcome to drop me a message. Any way you can contact me. Top Primate is the easiest, because you can just Google it and you can find all the the options to get in contact with us. Our number is there, and our Instagram. Message me wherever you can find us. Really, I check most of my socials because I'm always busy with the gym stuff. So we're around. If you drop a comment somewhere on something, I can also have a look-see there and so on. So someone dropped me a message and said they wanted to be on, and I was super excited. And thank you again for the support. I know you guys are listening. I know you're out there. We'll grow. And, again, if you're not interested in what we chat about, then that's all good. I'm only talking really about stuff that is interesting for myself. And I'll have the same with the guests. And we'll talk about things. The podcast world is really just people talking. Obviously, there's lots of ones that are out there looking for views and basically having train wrecks on for guests, and then that helps get the numbers up for people viewing and stuff. But we might have a controversial guest or two, but it's not going to be on purpose. But if they come on and they start talking shit, we're going to have to tell them they're talking shit. Maybe we'll see how they feel. I wouldn't want a guest to just leave. If they do, it'll probably be my fault, because I have a tendency, if someone's talking shit, to tell them, and it doesn't always go down well. But I believe that you can't. I believe you shouldn't. Not that you can't lie to people. Like, you can let them. You don't have to tell everyone everything. But if they're going to be on the podcast and I'm sitting here being like, yeah, I agree with you, or I'll have to explain my opinion and stuff like that. So. Hopefully we don't have too much of a train wreck, but it's okay. We will deal with it. I'm sure it will make for a very good podcast. And, the controversy is always good sometimes to, just get yourself out there. I'm sure that's why a lot of people do some crazy things. Either they want to be famous, or they're trying to get whatever they're doing off the ground, and a little controversy gets people watching, and then they carry on watching because they want to see the train wreck. So, not looking to have a train wreck, but if it comes into play and someone is doing something silly, we'll just have to chat with them. So we are busy with a camp at the moment at the gym. One of our fighters is hopefully going to get an opponent for November the 25th. It is the MadFit Promotions second fight night. So they have MMA fights, boxing fights, and the Muay Thai all in one. So that's pretty awesome, because it brings quite a broad spectrum of spectators and fighters in there. But because the one fight fell through due to unforeseen circumstances, then this production came online and took over the date. And basically, a lot of the fighters that were going to fight at the other one put their names in for this one. So all we have to do is wait and see what happens, and then maybe we'll get a fight. But I always tell my guys, pretend it's your job to fight, because if you don't, then one, you're not going to shut up. You won't not go into work when your boss needs you there. You won't not go into work for 5 days and then just shut up and everything's cool. The thing is, for fighting, you have to take opportunities. You have to take opportunities that come around. So basically what we do is, if we are putting our names down, then we start a camp on the right time. So 6 weeks out, we start training just like we would if we were fighting. Everything's to the T as if we had a fight. But at the 4-week mark, if we have nothing confirmed, then we will go back to normal classes. Just because there's no need for that last 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks is you're already fit. You just put in that last few details in. So the most important part is the beginning, because that's where all your fitness is built up, and your conditioning, your strength, and so on and so on. But I believe that if the fighters are training like this, if you put your name down, then it forces them to up their game for a certain amount of weeks. Then they go back to normal training, and they are a lot better. Sometimes even if the guys are training every day, they might get stagnant. Like, they might be doing the same things, not pushing harder, not getting any better at something. if they have something to work for and we push in hard and it's like running and it is pad work and it's clinch work and it's strength and conditioning work and so on, that is important because it pushes their level. If there's nothing, then they could just be like, oh, training and switch it on. Like the other day, I went with the guys. I don't know. It was just I just had something in my head. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go for them today. So I never go hard to the head because there's no need to smash people in the head. I don't believe in that style of sparring. It's ridiculous. I've seen some sparring wars. That those two words shouldn't go together because sparring is not fighting. It is supposed to be. It's even in the what the actual meaning of it is you training fast and light, and you are showing all your moves, but you are not going to put in the power. Because in that way you get your opponent or your teammates, your teammates are going to get injured where they don't need to be injured. You could hurt yourself, as in the other student that's not fighting, then you have another guy out. So I think personally, and this is, I think, a valid opinion, that sparring hard is ridiculous, especially to the head. There's no need to smash each other in the head. You can't condition your face, so whatever your face can take is what your face can take. I believe you should rather work on defending yourself, protecting yourself, working on head movement, working on not getting hit. But you can't do that if you are like so worried that you're going to get knocked out that you cover up. Then it changes your style, I think. You go in more with your hands very close to your head, which in Muay Thai, you extend your arms slightly away from your face. And not when you are defending yourself, but when you go out, that's your stance. You have that long range. And if you can keep the person away from you, then they can't hit you. So that's my thing on it. But some guys like to spar hard, which I don't do. And I think it's silly. You only fight for so long, and you need your brain cells for later. So if you're smashing each other in the head, what you going to do in like 5 years' time? Because 5 years, that's all it takes. Then you fucking all fucked up. So with my guys, we'll spar hard to the legs and the body, and not breaking ribs or smashing legs off, but we go up to like 70, 80%. So the guy is at least feeling what a hard kick feels like. So when it happens in the fight, he's used to it, or he's already had it happen to him, so he doesn't get a fright. Some people get a huge fright when they get hit for the first time, and they're like, yo, what's this? So if we can protect the head and from the neck down you condition, then you're going to be good. Because we don't fight so often, like I like to kind of have it like a Thai style, where the Thais are very relaxed when they spar and very light when they spar. It's playful. They're not trying to smash each other because they fight very often. They fight very often, so they go probably once a week, and that's how they get to those very high fighting records. Because if you have one fight a week for a year, you're on a considerable high level of fighting. You don't really spar, because what's the point if you're fighting every week? Then that's usually your sparring is like once or twice a week. They're having a real fight every week, so it's not necessary for them to spar hard or spar often. So they do spar, but it's very light, it's very technical, it's very playful, and it doesn't even constitute as their main part of their training. For us, what we do is we have to do the pad work, the clinch work, and the technique, and then we have to throw the sparring in as well, because, as I said, the guys don't get as many fights here. There is fights going on, but they're every 2 months. They're not every week. So, that's a very different aspect to it. So we will protect our heads. We will not go full ball to each other's faces. You can work each other's body and legs, because in that way the person can condition themselves and they can protect their face and they can work technique and they can get a little better. Otherwise, they go into the fight with their chin all smashed, and then they get touched and they go sleep. It's not useful. But each to their own, and the outcome will be that the guys that spar hard are going to have issues later on, especially if they get tagged a lot. Even if you have headgear is, you look here, it's not, you're still getting hit in the head. It doesn't mean because you have the headgear on that it's any less of a brunt. They did a study that they think the headgear is actually more dangerous because what happens is, one, the fighter is like, oh, I got this thing on my head, I can just take shots. And then he doesn't cover up and then he allows himself to get hit. So in that case, when you train with a headgear, your fighter might be taking shots and then be like, oh, I'm fine, I could take these shots because I got the headgear on. And then on the second side of that, when they do take the bombs in a fight and they're not covering up, because the headgear is very tight on your head, it doesn't allow your head to swell, because your brain and your head swells when you get hit in the head. It's just part of the game, And not allowing it to swell is, then putting a lot of pressure on the inside and so on. But this is just a study that they've done. And I don't agree with it. I agree with it because your brain does swell when you're fighting. And guys do let themselves get hit in the head with the headgear on. So when there's no headgear, they protect themselves a lot more. They cover up a lot more. They're not playing games with their head and stuff. In the Muay Thai, you get kicked, you get elbowed, and you get punched in the head. It's a very quick knockout or very quick, the fight's over. So it's not like say on a boxing where you go maybe 10 rounds and you're getting hit in the head the whole time. At least in the Muay Thai, it's brutal in the sense that you can get knocked out very quickly. But at least then you're out and you're not staggering around and letting the fight carry on. If the fight gets called, which is, good stuff. And for me personally, I really enjoy the Muay Thai because there's all the other sports stand-up wise. But if you're not using all of your body's abilities, then I think I don't think it's the greatest. That's why they keep Muay Thai is the king of striking, or all these names for high striking level. It's it's the most brutal ring sport because you use your whole body. Like if you are boxing, I don't particularly. I will watch boxing. I love Mike Tyson fights and a few other guys. Nice movement and so on. But I'm just like, if you had the other weapons, an elbow or a kick or something, it's going to be a different story. So I think in the fighting, as a striking sport, Muay Thai is the best. You can punch each other, you can elbow each other, you can knee the person, you can kick the person, you can also clinch the person. So basically, everything that you would do in a fight situation, you're allowed to do in the Muay Thai. You get close to the guy, you can clinch him, you can elbow him. There's no point throwing dirty boxing or these short punches in Muay Thai, because you can throw elbows and knees. So I always teach my guys, don't go for body shots in the clinch with your hands. Don't box the body, because you might be boxing the body, but the other guy knees you, and the knee is going to be more effective than the punch. And that's just how it goes. So again, a short punch versus an elbow, the elbow is going to win. It's a very hard point of the middle of your arm. So depending on what style you fight in, some people love this and that. I just love the Muay Thai because you can do so many things, and there's also the respect and you stay humble. A lot of other sports, they don't have that side of things. Like the respect is quite low on certain aspects of the sport. The staying humble is not put into the teaching. It's kind of just left in the air, and the guys become assholes, or their heads become too big for their bodies. But yeah, that's sort of how it happens. I feel like fighting, you go in there, the other guy's training, you accepting the fight. You don't need to be anything but humble, because you're going to go smash each other. So there's no need for the craziness of it. But some people love that. That's how they get into it, and that's what hypes them up. For me personally, I've never trash talked any of my opponents. I go to the weigh-in, you do your stay off. That's probably the closest that I've come to basically intimidation or trying to put anything on my opponent, because you're going to go hit each other. The words don't mean shit. I know some people need that to hype themselves up, but I feel like it's unnecessary and also disrespectful, because that guy's trained so hard and you've trained so hard, and now you're going to trash talk and whatever. But no, the thing is, I think people do it also because the crowd loves it, and you get all these fans and stuff. I'd rather not have the fans of that type of fan, because then you got trash talkers and you got oaks that are rude, and it's just, I don't think it's necessary for us as a society or as a human race to do that. Fighting's fine, like, fight the guy. Once you're done, usually you guys are you're not upset with each other or anything. But when you trash talk, then that's all this things that can be thrown in your face before and after, and then you get annoyed or you get like cross with this person or whatever. I just don't see it. So I don't allow that in my gym. I don't allow my guys to do that. I tell them straight away, don't touch the guy in the weigh-in. Don't talk shit to him. That's not how we roll. You part of Top Primate. It's not like you are Top Primate and then you can do whatever you want. So you need to also respect the teachings of the gym. Some people don't. Like, I've had a few students leave. I've always told them, I have nothing against you as a person now, but on the Muay Thai side of things, I can't teach you anymore. I don't want you in my gym anymore. They've pulled out of fights, and then, the promoter and the coaches and everyone gets screwed over, and the fighter has trained and now he doesn't have a fight. So I don't respect that at all. If you say you're going to fight, you must fight. Then I've had guys lie to me about their record, like they are on this level, but when I see them fight or training, I'm like, how the fuck did you even get to that level? You don't even know how to do X. Like, that's the problem. Sometimes fighters just rub you up the wrong way. They are too, I'm trying to think of the word, but basically they're not there altogether. They come train and then they make an excuse. Oh, I can't come train today, coach. Or they have other personal issues that might come into play. And again, I'm not saying you can't have personal issues, but when you fighting is like compartmentalizing. You have to be sore, but you still have to train. You have to be tired, but you still have to hit harder. You have to maybe have fear in you, but you have to push through that fear. You might be hurt in the fight, but you got to get up and carry on, because that's what you're training for. It's a fight game. It's the fight game is pain. It's a pain game. So that's, we had some guys come and go. Other fighters, they had their fights and they are, done fighting, and they still train, but that's a different story, because that is guys that are just don't want to fight anymore. I always tell the guys, if you don't want to fight 100%, if you got any doubt, if you got any reason that you don't want to fight, then you mustn't, because that reason is going to get you hurt in the fight. You're going to hesitate, or you're not going to cover up quick enough, or your brain's going to be somewhere else and you're going to get hurt. So the best thing to do is, if you want to fight, 100% fight. If you have a doubt, stop fighting. You can still train. There's no need to stop. Maybe you work on your headspace. Maybe something is going on in your life that you have to come back from. Then you come back from it. No need to, no one's, unless it's your ego that's pushing you, no one's forcing you to fight. My guys, I give them the choice. If you join fighters class, you fight in. That's what the fighters class is for. If you want to not fight, then you just go to the normal class, which you still can train hard in. You can still spar. You can still do everything that you do in fighters, except the class is shorter. And the main thing is you don't have to fight. So in fighters class, some guys get a reality check because they are, maybe they think they're good, or maybe they think they're fit, and then they come to class and they cuck off, and then they're like, oh, I don't want to be a... You have to understand that the all levels training is you get the move when you get the move. And if you're tired, you can be tired. In fighters class, you have to get the move on the day that we teach it. It has to click, or it has to look better by the end of class. And 2, you can't be tired, because the guy's going to smash you in the face if you're tired. So in the fighters class, it's a longer class. It's more intense. There's more push-ups, sit-ups. There's hits harder. There's pad work. There's all these more technical things that comes from being in fighters. But then again, on top of that, if you fight, this is where I believe where all judges and refs should come from. If you haven't fought, then you shouldn't judge or ref. That's my personal opinion. Because if you're judging, you're watching, you're like, oh, this guy's doing this, oh. But then you're not watching the fight properly. You don't know what a fight is. You don't know what it means to train. You don't know what it means to the person. If you just like to watch it and you like to judge, then you have a problem, because then you're going to go on what you think and not what you know. And the guy there is fighting, you can see he's fighting, the other guy's doing this and that. You judge differently. You might not be there 100%. When you ref, it's the same. You have to allow the fighters to fight until they are in a inability to defend themselves. Some refs jump in too soon, as in the guys get into the clinch and then they break the clinch. Clinching is as important to Muay Thai as the elbows and the punches and the kicks are. So you have to allow the guys to clinch, unless they are just grabbing each other and then they're hanging on each other and they just like basically resting. Then you break it up quick, but you have to let it develop to that. You have to let it see like, okay, now these guys are not clinching anymore, so as soon as they clinch, we break it up. If you don't let the clinch happen, then you're taking away from Muay Thai the most important part of Muay Thai that differentiates it from other striking sports. Because other striking sports, you can't clinch. So the closest one to Muay Thai, which is, just do your research, is kickboxing. And kickboxing was invented by a gentleman not too long ago. And specifically, moves were taken from Muay Thai to make kickboxing. And specifically, the rules are not against Muay Thai, but they are for kickboxing. So, if you want to put a word on it, it is against Muay Thai, because you can't clinch, you can't elbow, you cannot catch anything, and you can't clinch and knee. Which, if you think about it, that's what Muay Thai is: clinches, knees, elbows, catching of the strikes. So you're basically taking away the essence of the Muay Thai and you watering it down to the kickboxing. So I have nothing against kickboxing in the sense that, if you want to do it, or you do it, or, it's out there. I don't hate on it. I don't discriminate against it. But I do not allow my guys to do kickboxing, because it's not Muay Thai. I am keeping it straight up Muay Thai. I might be biased to other striking sports for sure, but Muay Thai for me is the only way. I won't let my guys do anything else. If they want to do MMA, I can work on the striking with them, and then they can jump into boxing fights and MMA fights and Muay Thai fights. But I won't put them in the kickboxing fights, because for MMA as well, you have the clinch and you can throw as many knees as you want. You have the elbow, you can throw as many elbows as you want. And also, if you want to know the very slight difference, if you go into a clinch in most sports, boxing or kickboxing, they allow you to clinch up, but then what you have to do is you have to stop yourself, right? Because it's against the rules, and you have to step back if you have to step back. In the Muay Thai, as you come out of that clinch, you can throw a strike, which is very, very important, because most striking sports don't have that. So in the MMA world, obviously you can do that, because they don't stop the fight unless you're hurt or knocked out. And they don't stop the engagement unless it's really a stalemate. So that is a big part of the difference. Like, as you break the clinch, you can throw a strike. In most striking sports, that would get you disqualified, or it would be an illegal move. Depending on what you did, you might get a point deduction, so on and so on. So for the Muay Thai, I love it that as you disengage, you can throw a shot, which is very important to how the Muay Thai works. So it's a flow. You can kick from far, punch from far, you can get in medium, you can get in short, you can get into the clinch, you can get out of the clinch, and the action doesn't stop. So I'm so surprised that Muay Thai isn't on a more of a worldwide scale. It is getting there now with one championship. They run in the Muay Thai fights with the MMA gloves, so it's pretty cool. The Muay Thai is coming up, but again, I don't understand why it's so low. Like, kickboxing is more known than Muay Thai, which is very peculiar to me, because Muay Thai, if there wasn't Muay Thai, there wouldn't be kickboxing. So again, all the haters, go do your research. I'm not hating on kickboxing. I'm not discriminating against it. I'm just stating the facts. Again, that's how might have some issues with people if I state the facts. It's not me. I didn't make up the facts, but I can't allow you to just spew the facts all over the show and then people actually believe it, and then they're like, oh no, Muay Thai is from kickboxing. No, kickboxing is like from the 1600s already, guys. It's been around for years, hundreds of years. And kickboxing is from the 21st century, as in it was created not too long ago. Like, it wasn't in ancient times. No one was using kickboxing to fight off hordes of warriors that are coming to invade your country and so on and so on. You know, Muay Thai, if you take a look at it, Thailand is one of the few countries in Asia that were not dominated or taken over by another state or another king or something so on. They somehow, with the Muay Thai and just the way the Thai people are, were able to evade the brutality of another country occupying you and making up some rules. So the Muay Thai itself is the ring sport. It's not even that's the thing. The Muay Thai is not even the first part of it. The first part of it is way more scary, way more dangerous. There is a lot of moves in the Muay Thai, which is Muay Thai is the ring sport. Muay Baran, or the whatever they used to call it further down the line when it first started, is the art of hurting someone. There is multiple moves where you can break the person's leg, arm, neck. You know, there's lots of illegal moves in the Muay Thai that you can't do because you can't kill your opponent in the ring. You can't break his neck. But there's a lot of moves in the old style where you do a lot of break moves because you want to finish it quick. So you want to get in there, break an arm, break a leg, break a neck, break a back, and be done with it. There is a lot of moves in the Muay Thai or the ring side of things that is illegal or that you just can't do because of the brutality of it. You know, even though Muay Thai in the ring is brutal, it's watered down in the sense of it's not the full capacity of what you could do back in the day. They also never used to fight with gloves. They used to wrap their arms and hands in rope. Because obviously, if you're going to be fighting as a warrior, you can't be punching people in the face the whole time with your skin. You're going to have no knuckle and no skin left. So they would cover up your hand and your forearm so you can defend yourself, and so on and so on. You know, so it's definitely changed throughout the years. I won't say watered down, because if you watch a Muay Thai fight, you don't think anything is watered down. If you were like, oh, they could have used that when they first started and they fought off people that were trying to invade their country, you could believe it. It's that brutal. There's a lot of moves and so on and so on. And obviously, if you are in a fight situation, you need the clinch. You need to be able to hold on to the guy and subdue him with big shots and then move on to the next opponent. At least in the Muay Thai fight, you only fight one guy. Sometimes you might fight twice on the night. It doesn't happen very often, but they do allow fights to happen. Like, it's 2 fights a night of the same person. We recently had a fighters matchup. There was a 4-way ladies fight, and obviously it was 2 versus 2, and then the winners would go on to fight each other. And now the 2 champs of the 2 different fights that they had, one was given the belt in one fight, and then the other one had 2 fights to get the belt. They're going to be fighting at the Mad Fit Promotions. They can go against each other, and then one can be 2 belt champ, which is quite cool. How it works is they will fight, and if they win 3 fights, they defend their title 3 times, they get to keep the belt. Otherwise, the belt changes hands and will go on to the next person. And if you win 3 times, you get to keep the belt. You take it home, and then they will produce another belt for the next champion. So obviously, that's when you see the guys with their belts that they keep with them. They defended that a few times. Sometimes you'll see that the promoters ask for the belts back. If you stop fighting or you're not fighting anymore, they will take the belts back because they need data. It's quite expensive, so they will want to take the belt back and give it to the next champ. And if you fight a certain amount of times, you can maybe get like a replica made. But in this case, the actual belt you are handed when you fight and you won the first time, that's the belt you keep. So very important. I was just thinking now, in the last podcast, I was talking about Uzbekistan, and it was a previous USSR country, and then I wasn't sure, but I did go and research it, and it is true that Uzbekistan and all the surroundings were part of the Soviet Union before. So that's why, as I said, the country is, it just looks like a Russian place. With the buildings and the architecture and the vehicles they drive and the language they speak. They speak Uzbek, but they also speak a lot of different dialects because, before there was big cities, there was just small towns, and they would have their own dialect. And a lot of people there have different dialects, or they have one language, but they speak Uzbek. But it does sound very similar. Not to my ear, I don't understand what they're saying, but it's some of the aspects of it is like very Russian or just Eastern Bloc. A lot of those countries, a lot of the languages sound very similar. It's got a particular tone to it, or particular way of speaking or writing, and so on and so forth. So just if anyone was wondering, definitely was part of the Soviet Union before. I was like 90% sure, but I just didn't want to throw out facts that I wasn't aware of, because people listen to this and then they take it as a fact, and then it's like, oh, Chandra said this on his podcast, and then I have to defend myself. So I rather speak facts, and I'd rather drop you guys with the actual facts. So when I speak, most of my stories obviously is from my own personal experience, because then it is factual. And anything else that I produce, I definitely have researched, or I know for a fact that it is correct. I would never want to give people the wrong information, because, again, if we want to be a good society of humans, because we all live on one planet, like my thing is, we all live on one planet. So it's very peculiar to me why we hate or fight with each other so much. We should just fight in the ring, let the persons throw down on each other, and then it be done. We shouldn't do so many wars and killing of each other, because it doesn't matter what we look like on the outside. We are the same on the inside, as in we all have blood, I'm sure. Otherwise, we would be dead. We all have a heart, lungs, liver, kidneys. Some people might have some removed, but in essence, if you take it down to that, we all are very similar. And I think the problem is that we are too divided, as in, this is my country, here's the line for my country, here's the money we use for our country. I don't believe in a one world government, as in the people that want to do the one world government want to control the world as one government. Maybe they are already, who knows? I don't believe the actual president of the country is the only one making the decisions, because he's one person. He can be influenced or threatened or so on to do other things, I definitely think that, one person can be influenced to do other things, or, if someone's giving you the money, then if you want that money to continue, you might have to do certain things or say certain things or make certain decisions. I do believe in that. So for me personally, when I say one world, I don't believe in government. I believe in that all humans should be equal with each other. And because we live on the same planet, right, I don't know why we can't just travel around the world. I think if we open up things more to people, then instead of certain parts being bad, we will have that will be diluted. Instead of certain people being in poverty, that will be diluted, because those people can go to another place and they can uplift themselves. I do believe that there still has to be authority, as in, we have to have the people that are committing crimes, really bad crimes, the ones that are disgusting to human beings. They should definitely be punished and definitely be removed, or definitely be put in a place where, if they can't be rehabilitated, then maybe, something further should be taken, some further steps. I'm not the one to make these decisions. I'm just want to be open to the discussion of these things, because if you're telling me, oh, okay, Africa is, it's a bad place to be, blah, blah, blah. If you allowed the world to be more open, then these African nations and Africa as a whole, we're not one country, guys. We are a whole bunch of different countries in one continent. We are on the biggest continent. Most of the world's continents can fit into Africa. It might not show that on maps because, again, the victors, they write the history, so they make other countries look bigger and then they make other countries look similar size to Africa. Guys, we are a shit fucking massive continent, okay? And we should be proud of that. Because we are third world, maybe a lot of African countries, it doesn't mean that that's our choice. That was put on us by other people. We've been exploited. I say we as Africans. I'm South African, guys. I don't particularly know my culture because I'm white, and I feel like white people don't have much culture. We have bad culture. But for me, I wasn't part of that. I'm just I was born in this place. You can't choose where you're born, and I see myself as South African, and that I live on the African continent. But South Africa is not Africa, guys. It is. If you look, it's the most southern tip of the continent, so hence the name South Africa. Some people are crazy. They think that Africa is one bloody country. Imagine that. Then we'd fuck up the whole world. If we were one country, we would fuck the whole world up. And that's not what we want. That's not what I want. I want us to be more equal. I don't see the reason why everyone, doesn't matter what race or religion you are, can't get along. I believe if you have a religion, people can respect it and should respect it, but you shouldn't have to hate on other people that aren't religious. Like, I'm not religious at all. I don't believe in any of the religions that's going around. I do believe that there's something somewhere out there. That's about as far as I can give you. I don't have enough proof, and I don't have enough actual physical proof to say anything else. And that might be like a controversy to some people, but I think you should allow everyone to have their beliefs, as long as they're not believing like, I must murder people or I must hurt people. If someone doesn't believe in a religion, it doesn't make them a bad person. Like, they can still be respectful. They can still be all the things that religion's supposed to teach you. I feel like religion is the backbone for a lot of controversy, and like, no, we're gonna teach you to be Christian, so we're gonna force you, and if you don't like it, we're gonna torture you and so on. I use Christian because I won't get into trouble for those ones. You got to be careful as well, because some religions, they are extremists, or some religions, they are people that don't like it if you're not part of their religion, which I think is silly. Like, I don't have any problem with anyone's religion. Some people might think I do because I'm not religious. I have a problem with lying. Lying's a problem to me. So if you lie about a religion or a specific reason why you do it, or a religion, then I have a huge problem with that. But if you just going about your business and you respect everyone else to be who they want to be, I'll respect you. If you say, hey, this is my holy land, fine. But if you say this is my holy land and I'm going to kill people, I'm going to tell people how to dress, or I'm going to tell people what they can and can't wear, then I have a problem with that. Because where in the religion does it say that someone can't wear something, or they have to wear something, or they can't do X, Y, Z? And that's when it comes back to the other martial arts out there. I don't mind what martial art you do. Just don't talk shit about it. Don't say that X martial art is the best at this. let's put it down to statistics rather, like what martial art's the best. Okay, the martial art that you can throw the most shots. So MMA would probably be on the top of the list, as you can do almost anything in MMA. You can throw, you can slam, you can fight on the ground, you can elbow, knee, punch, kick. Okay, you can do mostly anything in those fights, which is, that's why it would be on the top. And then if you go down, okay, what's the best striking sport? I will have to say Muay Thai, because there's no other sport like Muay Thai where you can throw as many shots as you can. There is Lithway. I don't have a opinion about Lithway, as in it's almost like Muay Thai but with headbutts. I just don't like to be headbutted, so I'd rather not be headbutted. So you can, in Lithway, they headbutt people, and then the rest is almost exactly Muay Thai. You can clinch elbows, knees, and kicks and punches and all that. So again, the sports can vary and stuff, but at least you go in there and you fight each other and it's done. I think with people or humans in general, we are too much about, like, this is my land, this is mine, you're going to take away from me. I feel if everyone is allowed to move around freely, right, with certain rules, like you can't just go kill people, you can't just go rape people, you can't just go fuck around and steal shit. I think that people should have more power in justice wise. Like, they always call you a vigilante if you go and take the law, I say inverted commas, the law into your own hands, because then you're like, oh no, you can't do this. But you know what? I'll tell you right now that if someone does something and you have the ability to defend yourself or stop them from doing it, I wouldn't say, hey, phone the police, and they take however long they take, depending on which country in, to get there, and then the crime's already committed. If you are able to assist someone, right, maybe someone's trying to rob them, if you're able to assist them by stepping in and being like, hey guys, look here, you're not going to rob this person, I'm going to defend them, you're going to have to go through me. I don't think that's such a problem. I don't believe that you should be allowed to have the authority to just do whatever you want to people when they haven't done anything wrong. In the name of the law, I'm going to do this. But some of the laws, there's some crazy laws out there still. Are they enforced? No, they only enforce some of them. So it gets a bit iffy, guys. And that's the world we live in. It's getting better. I think I have hope that it's not getting worse. Obviously, it looks worse because we are able to see, with the internet, we're able to see all the bad things that happen in the world. But we're also able to see all the good things, except unfortunately, the bad things sell, and the people that sell it, they know this, so they put more of it out there. And they try to keep you in fear and scare you and stuff. I don't think we have to live like that. And if we, as a human race, decide that we don't want to live with that, there's only so many people in government, there's only so many people in the world that's in charge. And if we stand up and we say, look here, we need authority, yes, but we don't believe that you guys should be making so much money off us, or you guys should be so rich and then nothing for the rest of the world. There's enough in the world to go around for everyone. Whoever says there isn't is probably not doing their research, or they're on the side of, no, we want to have people divided. I don't like the dividedness. So like when at the gym, anyone's allowed to train. I don't care who you are. Obviously, you have to respect the certain rules, as again, there's got to be a bit of authority, otherwise people just do whatever they want. And if you're doing Muay Thai and there's no authority, then the person is not going to fight with respect. They're not going to follow the rules and so on. So there has to be obviously certain things, but the people decide whether they want to join, and then they join. And if you don't want to join, you don't have to join. So I think that's a very important thing. So anyone's allowed in my gym. Obviously, the norm is any race, any gender, any particular beliefs, but it has to be like, okay, but when you walk through these doors, then certain beliefs you have to not enforce, because if you are, say, certain religion or certain person that doesn't maybe like men or women, and you come in and you see, oh, there's men or women. If you're going to talk shit, then the authority that is enforced in the gym is going to come into play and be like, okay, well, you can't train here if you don't want to train with women. You can't train here if you don't want to train with men. You can't train here if you don't like the different races, different languages, different religions. I feel like we can do that. It happens very often in small pockets, but it does happen. I think we also, a lot of the time, it doesn't matter what country you're in, there's always someone trying to divide the race or divide the religion or divide the people. It's peculiar to me because when I go to another country and I see people hating on X person, and this is, again, be offended or not be offended, but just listen to my words. I go to a country and most of the race is like one race. They are of a certain ethnicity, but they hate on each other. And then I come to South Africa and I'm like, geez, guys, we all get along quite well here, but people still try to divide us and so on, which is it's so silly because even in a country that doesn't have different races, they try to divide their people. Our country, we have multiple races and they try to divide us. We're not so different. We have different culture, yes, but I like to be a part of other people's culture. I like to see new things. I like to do different things. I like to experience the other cultures out there because there is good in the world and there is good in South Africa. Even if they're trying to divide us, they say, oh, this person. Guys, if we all work together, do you know how much better it would be? I really do believe that. And anyone that doesn't believe that I think they've been indoctrinated into something silly. Again, I don't have anything against the kickboxing or boxing or MMA. I just, as myself, don't want to do it and don't want to teach it. We should also be allowed to have our own things that we do and don't want to do. No, I don't want to drink. You don't want to drink. I don't want to smoke. You don't want to smoke. I don't want to do boxing. What, you discriminating? No, I'm not discriminating. I like the Muay Thai. That is what makes me happy. I have ADHD, so if you know what that is or you don't believe what that is, it doesn't really matter. Let's just say, okay, I don't have ADHD. I only do things that I enjoy doing or I'm interested in. That's what I do. I enjoy doing this podcast. I enjoy doing the Muay Thai. I don't particularly enjoy doing the other sports. I will learn them. I like to train them. I can do a bit of boxing. I know the rules for the kickboxing. MMA, I can do a bit of MMA. But as a sport that I want to have people compete in and push towards is the Muay Thai. That's just how it goes. So humans should be allowed to do the same thing. If they want to follow some religion, they should be allowed to follow the religion. But then, again, as a world authority, we should be like, okay, you guys can be any religion you want, but you're not allowed to fight other people because they're not your religion. You're not allowed to kill or bomb or discriminate against other people because they're not your religion. If you are Buddha, I don't know if you know this, but Buddhism is a way of life. It can be classified as a religion, but Buddhism is very open to everyone. You can be a Christian and a Buddhist. You can be a Catholic and a Buddhist. They don't discriminate against that sort of things. It's the same in the Muay Thai organization. We don't discriminate in any other fights happening on the same night as a Muay Thai fight. We'll sanction the fights and you can do MMA and boxing at the same time. You won't find Muay Thai and kickboxing on the same night because the Kickboxing Association, or just here in South Africa, they don't allow for cross fighting like that. They won't sanction your event if you are doing Muay Thai on the same night, and you'll get into trouble if you are. So, very peculiar. I think we should be more inclusive, guys. It's just because someone sounds different, looks different, or can speak a different language, has a different culture, it doesn't make them anything but another human that have other life experiences. Even the same race or the same religious people, they've had different lives that they've lived. One might have been from a world where it's very bad in their country and they've seen some shit, and then other one could be in a good place in the world and still the same religion, but never seen any of the extremeness of their religion or so on and so on. So it's a peculiar thing to me to think, because I try to be nice to everyone. Some people are just have the inability to be nice to people, or they just assholes to you straight away. Yeah, those people would be less if were more inclusive. That we would be like, look, we're not going to stand for this bullshit. There's no need for you to do this. We also, this is how we roll. We are a nation, a world nation of different people, different races, different so on, different ethnicities. Like some people hate on people that have mixed relationships, like mixed as in mostly race. That's a big one for people. And then religion also. Like you are an ex-religion, you can't date this religion. What? Why? Guys, what? Why? Tell me why. Tell me, because you've been indoctrinated into your bullshit religion or bullshit sexist or bullshit race war, whatever. Is this actually your thought, or were you just brought up thinking that and then, said that, hey, this is how I am. I don't like this type of person. Guys, two people getting married, no matter what religion or race or sex or anything, is nothing to do with us. That's them, right? Like, we just see it. We don't live it. Everyone can be with whoever they want. You want to be with a man, you want to be with a woman, you want to be with two men, two women. I think if everyone is understanding and happy in the situation, no outsider should be able to say it's wrong. If someone is not happy and they're forced, that's a different story. That's where the authority or the full stop should come in, as in, I don't want to be, but I was forced into this, or I don't want to be, but because this is my parents' belief, I have to do it. I think everyone should have free will to make their own decisions, but obviously there's going to be assholes out there that make bad decisions, and those people will have to be judged. But I don't think should be as it's a, I don't know. Guys, it's difficult, just to get into these things, because then you try to get into it and then someone will have a very strong opinion that you shouldn't do it, and then someone will be cross with that person for having that opinion, and so on. It gets very difficult. So it's the same when it comes to martial arts. That's why I'm just chatting about it as well. I do believe in this, but it does happen in martial arts as well. Someone might be like, oh, you're a boxer. I don't like boxers. Guys, for me personally, I don't care if you're a boxer, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, or kickboxer. If you're a fucking asshole, then you're a fucking asshole. It doesn't matter what sport you do. Your sport doesn't make you the asshole. You already were the asshole. So in that way, I feel like I am happy for everyone doing all their sports. I like the Muay Thai. I don't hate on other sports, but don't hate on me for maybe not supporting your sport, as in going to pay money to watch you, or teaching it, or offering it. Sometimes there's enough people out there doing the different sports that you don't need everyone to do it. And there's enough people in this world for us to all live together and not be divided so much, and not hate on people so much. It's just it's difficult. I really do have an issue with it. Like, I try to be a good person. I teach my classes nicely. I will help people that need help. I had a gentleman that came down. He said like he wants to come train, and he's left Joburg, and he spent his last monies to come here to Cape Town, and he wanted to do Muay Thai. So when you tell me this stuff, I'm like, okay, cool, let's get going, let's help you. So I started teaching him. He had nowhere to stay. I found this out later, and I let him stay at the gym for a few months because he had nowhere to stay. He said to me that he was going to find a job, and that he has a job lined up, and so on and so on. And then it turned out to be he didn't actually have a job at all. He wasn't trying to look for a job. He said he was going to pay the gym fees. He never did, because he never had a job. He lied in the first place. I found him a job. It's like they were going to give him a house, or not a house, just somewhere to stay. He was going to get paid, so on, and he refused that. But I mean, the man had nothing, and he refuses a job. So again, each their own, but once I start to see through your lies, then I have no time for it, because I didn't lie to you. I said, hey, come stay here. I have a place for you. He used to come to my house once a week. He was training once a week. He'd come there. We'd have a proper meal. I would try to make sure that I give him money and food, and other people would support him as well. And then it turns out that he was just lying about these things, and he wasn't looking for a job, and he was just basically taking advantage of the situation. So in that sense, those people need to be weeded out. You can't have those people in a good society, because they're going to make the people that do good resent doing good and not do good anymore. So I'll still do it. I will, if someone comes to me with the exact same, I will help them. I will find, if they don't have a place, I will help them find a place. If they don't have a job, I'll help them find a job. And the problem is that if people lie about it, then all the help you're giving is in vain. And then you're using your energy for people that don't want to be helped. It's difficult because you can't always see these people come in, but they do come at you, and you gotta kind of weigh up your options. You gotta talk to them and see what's what. It's just unfortunate, because I would have loved to help someone that actually needed and wanted the help and grew. This person didn't grow at all. They basically just stagnated, because they basically went on and now just, I don't know, doing worse or doing better. Who knows? Hopefully better. But I had the opportunity to help this person with the things they needed, and they didn't, they couldn't basically take, I don't think they could take how they were getting the help. Maybe they wanted it their way. And you know what? I'm not going to give it to your way, because you got yourself into the situation. So I'm only going to give you as much as I can offer. And then from there, you can take it as you want. So, I do believe that we should not discriminate against people so much, but also in the same breath, other people should not be allowed to force their belief or their opinion on you. They're allowed to have their opinion, but I think opinions should be based in facts. So if it's true, then it's true. It's not me that made the fact, it's true. If you are loving boxing or loving Muay Thai or loving kickboxing or loving MMA, you shouldn't discriminate against the people not doing that sport. You should just be happy that they're doing a sport. They're healthy, they're training, they're getting their frustrations out, which is a good thing. I think everyone should be allowed to hit something without getting into trouble, i.e. a bag or pads or the air. I think the world needs more exercise in general. A lot of our problems come from being unhealthy. I laugh sometimes and I have to walk away, because I hear people like, oh, I got this issue. And you look at them and they're unhealthy, they're eating bad, they're overweight or underweight. That's also an issue, underweight. But yet no one's pushing for them to exercise, because a lot of their problems would go away with exercise. Oh, I don't feel so well. Okay, you need to go do some exercise. Oh, I'm overweight. Go exercise. Oh, I'm too thin. Go and exercise. You will eat more. You will feel better. Okay. I had to go to the chiro for this. I can't stand up anymore. You need to go do some movement. You need to go stretch. You need to go get out of there. Get yourself moving, guys. It's very important. Some people, it doesn't set in, or it doesn't set in, and then they kind of find themselves stagnating, or people just around them like, no, it's fine. You can do it. I know they don't just tell them straight up, hey, you need to go and exercise. You eat shit, you look like shit, go and do something about it. I think a lot of problems can be sorted out with a little bit of exercise. It seems crazy. It seems like, oh no, exercise, what's that going to do? Our bodies are made to move. Okay, our bodies are made to do things. Look at all the stuff that these bodies can do. Every record that's held on this planet is held by a human. Doesn't matter their race or their religion or their sex or their height or any. It's held by humans, which just shows me that we are capable of anything, and we shouldn't put these people on pedestals because they're just a human that trained and did their things Any of us can get there. It doesn't have to be you want to be a Usain Bolt and be the fastest runner, but you can do other things. You don't have to set records, but you can do it. You can get there. You go as far as you want, depending on what you want. But you should be doing something. I think the world would be a better place if we all train together. Because like my gym, I have literally all races. There is, because South Africa is full of all races. So we have a multitude of races, religions, even genders, guys. I'm not going to discriminate against any gender. Just don't force your gender things on everyone, saying like, no, you should do this, or you should be this person, or let's everyone just train the Muay Thai. Like, come in, we're training Muay Thai. It's not a place to sell your religion or sell your ethnicity or your race or your sex. It's a place to sell the Muay Thai, train Muay Thai. Everyone can work together, and if you see it in a gym that people, men, women, trans, any religion, any race, they can all work together. And why can't we do that anywhere else? I think it's because we are, trained or like pushed towards hating on a certain thing. I don't mind if you want to be a man or woman, so on. If you want to do certain things, I can have an opinion about them. I'm allowed to. I still have my own thoughts, but as long as you don't push that on me, say, hey, you should actually be X. As long as you don't push that on the people, or try to sell it, or try to bash people for that. And again, on the same side, I will not allow people to bash on you. I had a father that brought his son in to train, and usually the parents train with their kids, so they'll jump in there with him, or they already train, they bring their kids. So this father decided, okay, he's going to bring his son. His son was a bit overweight. He definitely needed to train. That's the parents' fault. I definitely believe that. They should have done better. But he was training, and then his son was like tired or something, or I don't know what his son was doing. And then his father basically was making fun of him from the sidelines. So I went up to the edge of my mat and I said, hey, what the fuck do you think you're doing here? Eh? Don't you come in my gym and make fun of people, and so on and so on. His eyes bulged. His son, I don't know if his son's never had someone defend him or something, but his son finished the class. I never ever saw that person or heard from them again. I know why. Because I touched on your ego. You're sitting there on the side chirping your son bullshit, like not any good stuff. And I came as the coach and as another fellow human and was like, hey, don't speak to people like that. How dare you, in front of my class, to your son. I might have a sensitive thing about it because my, I don't want to say father, the person that is supposed to be my father, didn't do much with me, or wasn't even involved much with me. I don't even speak to him. It's like a very peculiar thing, because he would do the same, make fun of me. I understand, like, if your father's supposed to be helping you, he's supposed to be the strong one, and that gives you the strength to take that, like, thicken your skin. But maybe you should explain this to your children before you just start making fun of them and make them feel like shit in front of a whole bunch of people. This guy, definitely, kid was maybe not as confident. He was a bit overweight. I'm sure people make fun of him. Now you also making fun of him. How's that going to help? And if no one stands up to you, then you're just going to keep doing it. So I stood up to him. He wasn't impressed with it. I'm sure he wanted to leave right that second. But I told him to shut the fuck up and sit down, and he did. He never spoke again. I wasn't threatening him physically, but if it comes to that, I would be like, hey, my butt, if you want to throw it down, we can throw it down. I wasn't chirping my son. I wasn't being disrespectful in the gym where we are all included in the training. There's no making fun of person. There's no chirping their body or chirping the way they do things. They're there to get better. So, parents sometimes do that to their kids. I think it's disgusting, because if they had that happen to them, then why are you, putting that on your kids? I think it's, it's not the right way to go. And again, it just brings it down to we don't have to discriminate like that. People can do their thing. Your son would have gotten better. He would have gotten great results from being in a martial art, because it would have given him self-confidence would have helped him get his body in shape. You know, it's your fault that he was like that because you, his parents, you brought him up. You maybe didn't keep him healthy. You maybe didn't instill confidence in him, and so on and so on. And he had, if you let him be in the martial arts without you fucking making fun of him, he probably would have gone far because he was there. He was young. He was happy to do the class. But your stupid ass wanted to make fun of him. And as a coach, and I respect people, and I think that you should never discriminate against someone that's trying. It doesn't matter how long they try for. But if you do, someone has to stand up to you, and I could, and I can, and I did. So it goes the same. If people in my gym are making cuck with each other, I'll go and I'll be like, what the fuck are you guys doing here? This is my gym. There's rules here. You don't go hard on each other. You don't smash each other in the head. This person's not as good as you. You don't go hard on them. This person's not the same race as you. You not be racist. This person's the same religion. You don't discriminate against them. Okay? If that person comes and tries to bring their bullshit into the gym, I would say the same to them. Guys, you can't bring your ideology into this gym. This is a Muay Thai gym. We're here to teach Muay Thai. It's not a religious. I don't force anyone to be religious. I don't force anyone to do any ideology or any silly business. We bow because that is just a Thai greeting. It's not bowing in the sense of religious factors, because some gym owners are like, no, they don't bow in their gym because it's against their religion. What the fuck are you talking about, you motherfucker? Then don't do Muay Thai. It's a Thai greeting. So you're telling me you don't handshake? Because that is the form of a greeting. Some people just have silly things, and like I'm probably the one person that you don't want to come with that bullshit to, because I'll call you straight away. I'm like, but why? Oh no, we don't bow because it's a religious thing. Okay, but then maybe your religious thing has a problem, and not the bowing, because the bowing is just a sign of a greeting, as a sign of respect to each other. I bow to my students before every class, not because I'm giving anything to do with religion. I'm respecting them enough to bow, right? Be vulnerable in the sense that I'm looking down. So, if you're looking down, you can't see what's in front of you. I'm also keeping the culture of the Muay Thai heritage alive. And it's just a greeting. It doesn't mean shit. Whatever you make it into, that's what it means. So for me, it's just a sign of respect for the students. It's a greeting. I can't come shake all of your hands. I will at the end of the class. We all line up and I tap everyone's hand. But before the class, we bow in general to start off the class. Just bow, say hello, show respect for each other and show respect for the gym, so on and so on. So, guys, as I said, planning to have a guest soon, and obviously we'll get into other topics. This isn't just a Muay Thai podcast. It's just a podcast, really. That's why I call it the podcast. I probably must make a different name, but it's just a podcast of talking. I would love to put out good vibes there and accepting vibes. Obviously, there's certain things that I don't accept either. Like, I don't expect if someone's rude to me or someone in my face, or I'm going to say something, because there is people that are assholes. Not everyone's good, guys. You got to remember this. Not everyone's good. Not everyone's out there to see your best intentions. Not everyone's out there to see you get high, get better. I am behind anyone. I'll believe in anyone. You need one person to believe in you. I'll believe in you guys. Okay. I don't believe in you if you're like a murderer or something stupid. I'm saying that. If you are running a business, if you are trying to get healthier, if you are trying to be better at your religion, I will support you. I don't have to be religious with you. I can support you still. I hope people know that you don't have to be doing what the person is doing to support them. You can just support them. It works just like that. So, guys, I'm going to be heading off. Hopefully next time you hear me, there'll be another voice in my headset here and in the mic. I'm looking forward to it because I think that once I get some guests on in or once I get the other headset, okay, that's what's also been slowing me down. Again, I told you I'm not a millionaire. I have to make do with what I can do, and that's what everyone has to do with. But next headset's coming. It's on its way. It's been ordered. I'm excited. We're going to have a sit down with a podcast guest. And hopefully when I have the next headset, I can actually push more for more guests. Because at the moment now, even if I had a guest, I don't have another headset. So they're just going to be sitting there and I have to give them the headset maybe or something strange. So for now, guys, I'll be signing off. I hope you enjoyed the podcast again. I don't really care if you want to listen or not. That's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing it for like-minded people trying to spread acceptance. I have ADHD and I, was made fun of and maybe not bullied because of the ADHD, but because I was different. I was on some medications for the ADHD and it makes you quite quiet, makes you like a silent zombie. You do your thing, but you're not really there. You can't hold a conversation. People's skills, I still don't have them done. Like I can't read the situation very well. You have to tell me what's happening. But I am trying to promote non-discrimination and more acceptance of people. Again, there's going to be assholes. It doesn't matter. You can have assholes in your own backyard. Your sister, brother, mother, father, your family can be assholes. I've seen it. So just remember that not everyone's out there to get you, but not everyone's out there to support you. So stay with the people that want to support you and leave the rest behind. They are not worth it. So guys, I'll be signing off. I had a great day with you, chatting with you guys, and I'm sure we will be pushing further with the guests. I think it's going to be really exciting, and we'll then be able to just ask people if they want to be on. I won't have to wait for people to ask if they want to be on. But now I'm glad I'm getting a guest because it pushed me to get this new mic and so on and so on. So guys, I'm going to be off. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you didn't, it's all good. Acceptance. You don't have to love or like what I'm doing. Just don't hate on it, because then I'll just hate on you. We got to accept each other. You hate on me, I accept that, and you got to accept that I'm going to do the same to you then. But I prefer to just be happy and working with everyone. I might not be like the most social person. I will talk to people, but I don't have a big group of people that I hang out with. But I don't mind hanging out with people. Just sometimes have a very low tolerance for bullshit. Okay, guys, have a great one, and I will chat and see you guys soon.